Are you thinking about building your first pedal board for worship and you don't know where to start? Well, shockingly, I actually just recently did this. So I would love to talk about my experience. Welcome to Blazing Guitars. So the most important thing when you're thinking about building a board is what do you want it to accomplish? And I think that's really hard for beginners to answer because they don't know, right? You don't know what you want it to accomplish. So for me, when I first started building my board, my goal was to just play with pedals and just to see what they would do and to try out different pedals. And I ended up with a bunch of different pedals and buying and trading some. So figure out your goal, and it might just be just to try it, and that is totally legitimate. For me, the reason I did it was because I plugged into a Vox AC15 and it just totally changed my world, and I was like, wow, I really want to try this pedal thing out and see what this is all about, because I saw some legitimacy in it. So figure out what you're trying to accomplish and then go for that. If you don't know what you're trying to accomplish, then do a bunch of research. And for me, what I really wanted my board to do was to make sure that it covered 5 basics. And the first 2 was actually to have 2 different overdrives. This is the Electro-Harmonic Soul Food, which my wife got me for a birthday or Christmas. And then this is the Boss Blues Driver. Both of these are under $100 and fantastic pedals that have totally withstood the test of time. Now, the amazing thing about having 2 overdrive pedals is what's called gain staging. So when you can do gain staging, you can essentially use these to create something that's greater than the sum of its parts. So get 2 overdrive pedals. They don't have to be expensive, and try them in different configurations. Try them as clean boosts or as really dirty, or just play with them. Even play with your guitar volume pot and just see how they respond. And what you'll find is that with a couple really good overdrives, you can get some amazing stuff coming out of a tube amp. And they do not have to be expensive overdrives. As I said, both of these are under $100. So all the pedals I'm showing you today are pretty reasonably priced. There's even some Amazon Basics. I know that they're selling some pedals. You do not have to have a really expensive pedal board to enjoy the world of pedals. This, hands down, is one of my favorite overdrives, but it's phenomenal. So just all that to say, kind of do away with this idea that you have to spend tons of money. You can get away with like $300, which might be a lot, but the great thing about pedals is that you can build them up. You can buy a couple pedals at a time or 1 pedal at a time and just incrementally grow your board, which is so fun. So those are the first 2 things. You want 2 overdrives, and again, the combined goal here is gain stacking. The third thing that you want to do is have a good delay. And I have, this was actually my first pedal that I ever bought that wasn't a tuner. This is the Boss DD20. I've had it for 10 years now. It's a great pedal. It totally holds up on its own. I know Josh Scott's been talking about it a lot from JHS Pedals. So find something like this, or the MXR Carbon Copy is like, I think it's $130. So get a delay, something cheaper. You can go a little bit more expensive with tap and presets and stuff, but having a good delay on your board can really change and just give you a lot of tonal variety. The 4th thing I would have is some sort of modulation pedal. So I have a Trellicopter from Moore, and then this is like an old Ibanez CS9 that my dad had. So you don't even have to like get new stuff. This is a really old pedal. This is from like the 80s, and I think that the modern version is still like under $100, or it's like 130, I think, with the mini. A little bit of movement in your sound can go a long way. So get yourself like a modulation, like a chorus or tremolo or phaser or flanger, just something to kind of move your volume a little bit. And then the final bass that I'd make sure that you have covered on your board is reverb. And you don't actually have to have a reverb pedal. A lot of amps have reverb built into them. So if you have reverb in your amp, then just use that. Or even my amp has tremolo in it as well. So you can get away with not having some of these pedals if your amp can cover that space. This is my current reverb and delay pedal. Combo pedals are a great option as well. I have the Chula from Love Pedal. I just got this a couple months ago, and I got this for $95 new, which I got it at a screaming deal. But if you watch for stuff like this, it exists. Like, you can really get good deals on some of this stuff. So get a couple combo pedals, and that can really cover a lot of ground for you. What I really love about this is that it has presets as well, so I can dial in a tone. And this one's a little bit more expensive. I think it's right around $350, so you might not want to get that. It's probably cheaper just to get 2 of the Amazon Basics, which is totally fine and totally legitimate if you want to go that route. But for me, I just wanted a little bit more options in my reverb and delay. So if I was restarting my pedal board, that's kind of what I would look for. Again, I'm looking for 2 overdrives for some gain stacking, and you could do a combo like this where it has 2 gain stages in one pedal. I'm looking for modulation, I'm looking for delay, and then reverb. So that's where I would start. If you're really not sure on how to start a pedal board, then start with those things and start collecting. And then if you're looking at powering your board, you might want to look at something like the One Spot or the Joyo Power 2. If you want more info on that, I have a video linked above and in the description below. And then for the board itself, you can actually go really cheap and just make one yourself. I've never done that. I was actually able to find a pretty good deal with a board and a power supply and all kinds of stuff together. So that's the route that I went. But if you want to go that route, you can totally do that. So I hope that was helpful. I know it's really confusing when you're thinking about how to start, and hopefully that gives you some good direction and some good things to think about as you're trying to piece together your first board. It's really fun. It's really exciting. I really enjoyed that process and have continued to enjoy it as I've gone on. So I'm excited for you. You should totally do it. It's totally worth it. So if you have any questions, please leave a comment below. If you would like to support me or join my Discord, both of those are going to be linked in the description below as well. So thank you so much for watching. We will see you next week, and have a good one.